welcome to Open. I'm Rhina Valentin, your hosting Café con Leche for the next hour, encouraging you to get social with us online, especially during these social distancing times. You can tweet us and follow us on Instagram at BronxNet TV or like us on Facebook at Open BronxNet Television. And if you're interested in contacting me directly, you can find me on all platforms on Twitter, FB, Instagram, Insta Stories, and LinkedIn at Rhina Valentin. So throughout New York and the entire world for that matter, many people are faced with a new reality that will result in major setbacks due to COVID-19. Our first priority, of course, is to stop the virus from spreading. And Co-op City in the Bronx is the largest cooperative of its kind in the world with a huge population of seniors. And so our next guest recently helped secure a new COVID-19 mobile testing site at the Bay Plaza Mall for the northeast section of the Bronx that began Monday, March 30th. And in addition, he is in support of rent freezes for tenants and mortgage modifications for homeowners, as well as small business tax suspensions. Please welcome Assembly Member Michael Benedetto. Hello and welcome.
It's a pleasure to be here, Rhina, especially during these very, very mixed up times that we're in. And so thank you for having me.
Well, thank you. I mean, it's quite refreshing to just get some sense of hope. I personally appreciate everything you stand for. Let's start with the mobile test siting that was just implemented recently on Monday.
Yeah, we're very proud of that. Listen, there's a major problem out there. I'm a person who just says, let's get things done. Let's find a solution to the problem we have. And one of the major problems we have with all the people who has to be tested. And so myself and my colleague, Senator Bailey, along with Speaker Carl Hastie, has joined in together with Congressman Engel and Councilman Andy King, and we petitioned the mayor and we petitioned the governor. We've got a density of people, senior citizens, the largest natural occurring retirement community in the United States, right in Co-op City. Let's see if we can get the services brought to them. And so we did that. The governor heard our voice and we got it there on Monday and we're happy.
Okay, so from my understanding, this is going to be taking place in the parking lot at the Bay Plaza Mall.
That is correct.
So if we're dealing with seniors and they don't have a car, how is that going to work?
Well, hopefully a good many of them do have cars, but that's a good point. And what they're doing in Co-op City is many of the seniors are coming in and they're joining hands. Again, as people do in emergencies like this, people join and help each other. We have an initiative run out of Senator Bailey's office and working with the religious groups in the area, Bishop Rosario in particular and his wife Nancy, that they have volunteers who are willing to pick up the senior citizen and bring them in, as long as they call ahead for an appointment and so on. So we're trying to work out that problem.
So I know that's a little tricky though, because now you're still subjecting people to other people.
Correct. They will come into the car. They will be in the back seat. And I believe, I'm not sure, but I believe they're putting protective barriers between the front seat and the rear seat. And hopefully they're doing the smart things now as everybody leaves, disinfecting for the next person and so on.
Well, it's really, really refreshing to know that that's now available up there, because I believe there's about a good 50,000 people who reside over there.
That is correct. It's a give or take a couple of thousand. That's what you're talking about. And most importantly, too, it's not just 50,000 people. It is a large center for senior citizens and those people who have handicapping conditions. So when you combine those people in need and those people who are senior citizens, it's a population that must be protected.
That's wonderful. And so, that being said, let's talk a little bit about your proposals, or the four proposals that you support. One of them being rent freezes, right? I mean,
Yeah.
there's a moratorium that's been placed in. However, the way things look is kind of like, oh, okay, great. You gave everybody a grace period. But what happens when we come back to real life? Everybody's coming
Right.
back in debt.
Right. This must be looked on as an emergency package that is not time limited by, okay, the virus has gone its way in 3 months or 4 months. It's all over with now. That doesn't end the problem. The problem continues because there are people who have been out of work and unable to pay, and they have debts rolling up during the course of those 3 months, 4 months, whatever it might be. We've got to give them a way to undo those debts. And I'm talking about a rent freeze for people, but at the same time, we can't forget the landlords. Okay, landlords are often portrayed as evil, but they're not always evil. There are hundreds upon hundreds of good landlords out there that have to pay for the heating, have to pay for the air, the electricity, that have to pay for the custodial staff. They have expenses too. And so we need a package to deal with them. We're going to need help from all levels of government, city, state, and in particular, the federal government. Okay. And they've done a couple of stimulus packages already. They have to go back and do another stimulus package to aid us as we continue with this.
So I also attended a teleconference yesterday that was hosted by Mark Jonai, related to small businesses. Yes, and it was with SBA. And the interesting thing that stood out for me is that while I understand that everybody's trying their best to assist small businesses, is like everything is related to a loan. And once again, it's another debt situation.
That is correct. What the government should be, and again, it needs something big, and only government is big enough to do this. It is imperative that the government give out loans to let these businesses survive, but these loans will have to be given back over the period of, let's say, 3 or 4 years without interest. Okay, and that's very, very important that it is without interest. And because small businesses hire, I don't know what the percentage is, but 60% of the workforce in our city. And that's got to be respected. And those businesses have got to be maintained. What would our neighborhoods look like where you have shuttered stalls all around? This terrible, terrible crisis we're in affects so many people, such a variety of different issues that we have to have a total umbrella to get us out of it.
I still keep trying to wrap my head around the reality is that everything is at pause, and because everything is at pause, there's going to be a lot of loss in various forms. And so, while yes, as a tenant, as a homeowner, as a business owner, there's a certain level of responsibility in which we all have to take, right? However, if we've been put at a halt from doing what we need to generate, how is it that we're going to get assistance, for lack of a better word, that in turn it becomes our debt based on the fact that we had no choice but to sit?
Right. And again, now we look towards the federal government. The federal government is already sending out stimulus checks to people, and that's all well and good. But one stimulus check for $1,200 ain't going to do it. Okay. And
how do people even qualify for that?
Well, if people, it would be based, as I understand it, on your tax returns, and any household who has an income below $75,000, okay, would qualify for a stimulus check. But these checks can't be a one-shot deal. Those checks got eaten up very, very quickly. The checks must be ongoing. Maybe once every single month, they get their check until everybody is bound now back to work again. Okay, it is the job of government at times like this to act forcefully and decisively and completely to help out everybody. The economy will come back. Okay, people will be back to work again. It's just a matter of time. It is that period of time where we have to help our citizens out.
Well, at this present moment, that's what we're dealing with. We are dealing with the present. And based on everything that I've been attending via teleconference or just even phone conferences, it requires a level of proposal writing, submission. Everybody's going after the same thing. And it's really, quite frankly speaking, overwhelming and discouraging.
It is overwhelming, and it can be discouraging if you continue to dwell on it. You got to put the public has to put some faith in their government, in their elected officials, that they have their best interest at heart and are working to solve those problems. As we're having this discussion right now, I am up in Albany, in my office in Albany, because we are putting together our budget for this year. Just think about what we're trying to do. We're trying to put a budget that will take in about $175 billion, and we're doing that in the worst economic crisis that we've seen since the Depression. So you look at and talk about problems. We got them over here too, and we're trying to figure out how to do it. At a government, one of the options that we have at our disposal is to possibly go out there and get some short-term loans. The government has to get loans, just like the people have to get loans, and hopefully we'll get them at friendly terms that we'll be able to pay back over the course of several months and years going forward to deal with the problems we have today. There are many problems out there, but there are also many smart people working to solve them. We will get through this.
Well, thank you for leading us in the forefront. Thank you for leading us in the forefront of finding resolution, because that's really what this conversation should be. And as one of our leaders, how do you feel people should start, I guess, researching and or where should they go to create resolution and find resolve in whether it be personally and or through business? Where should they be looking?
Well, I could assist by saying you contact any of your elected officials, be it my office, both in Throgs Neck or Co-op City, Senator Bailey's office, Assemblyman Speaker Carl Hasty's office, Congressman Engel's office, Councilman King's office, and Councilman Joni's. All of those offices will have resources for the people at their disposal and be able to get back and tell them right then and there. And if they don't, they will get back to them. So that's one thing. The other thing to do, I know a lot of parents are out there, the kids are home. Okay, what are we going to do with the kids all day? Kids need structure. And the parents now are becoming instant teachers. And they
do you see this?
You got it there. And I'm sure Rhina has set up a structured setting for your daughter. Okay. At such and such an hour, they're going to be doing this. Next hour, you're going to do this. Next hour is a little bit of rest and lunch, and then we go back to academics. And you can go on the Board of Education website. You can go on the United Federation of Teachers website. You can go on the Council of Supervisors and Administrators website. All of them, as well as the New York State Department of Education. They will all have valuable resources of how to organize time and give you ideas of what to do depending upon age level of your child.
That's all valuable information. And I think that is a reality we all have to come to terms with. Is like, me personally, I've always been a multitasker, but this is new to a lot of people.
It is. It is difficult. Listen, these are difficult times. At difficult times, though, this country has come together. During the course of World War II, at the beginning, we were completely prepared to meet the needs and what we need for World War II. No army, no military machines. All of a sudden, though, the country got focused, did their best in a war effort, and by the end of the war, we were a manufacturing giant. We rose to the occasion. We're going to raise to the occasion in this crisis too, in so many different ways. Education and teleeducation being one of them. Everybody should keep the hope.
That's what I was going to say. That was really, really, really hopeful. That's a wonderful way to close this segment. Are there any last words you want to share with our viewers?
Well, again, be smart. Listen, I'm not going to hide anything. I am not the youngest person in the world. I am in a situation where I am among those who are in danger. And I have realized slowly, and I'll admit that, I'll realize the seriousness of this pandemic. Okay? Do the smart things. Stay away from people. Don't interact closely with anybody. If you got to go to the store, stay away from the other people. Let them clear the aisle, then you go down. Do smart things. Wash your hands a lot. Do all the things that the doctors are recommending you to do, and you'll make it through. But be smart.
Thank you. Thank you. Assemblyman Michael Benedetto, the last thing you forgot to say was stay home.
Stay home. And I wish I could be doing that myself, but I got to be here in Albany.
Well,
but we're trying to keep our
sir.
distance up here.
Yeah,
thanks
absolutely.
a lot, Rhina.
Thank you. We appreciate you and your commitment to our community. Thank you.
Have a good one now.
You
Bye-bye.
too. All right.
Goodbye,
you guys,
everybody out there.
Thank you. Once again, you guys, to make an appointment to be tested for COVID-19 at the Bay Plaza Mall mobile testing site, you can call 1-888-364-3065. The site hours are Monday through Sunday, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. Please note that the site will prioritize according to individuals who are high risk. And for more updates from Assemblyman Michael Benedetto, you can follow him on Twitter at Michael Benedetto 82. All right, we have to take a quick break, but when we return, we'll learn how to find a sense of calmness through this crisis.